talk about timing. Our sip spy came in, so we're going to open this very quickly so we have some tea. And the reason I say talk about timing is it is cold and wet today, so this is going to be perfect. We're going to have some new tea. I'm a little concerned. So let's take a look. Oh, goodness. Let's open this up. I will say the way that they package this, even with that, nothing should have fallen out. If anything is missing in here, someone took it. Hopefully they really needed the tea. All right, so yes, we've got tea. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got 3 loose, so I think we're fine. All right, so in our box today, we have this organic Rooibos Masala chai. This is sustainably sourced, expertly selected, worldwide botanicals. I don't think I've had this brand before. We have directions. Where's your ingredients? We don't have ingredients on the bag, so we're just going to set that down. That looks interesting. We have a small bag. It's a small bag of Cassadia Cooler from Beach House Teas. We've tried Beach House Teas before. This has hibiscus, rose hips, orange peel, lemongrass, lemon verbena, and cinnamon chips. So that's what that looks like. We have a tea from the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop called Sunday Morning. Chamomile, orange peel, lemongrass, and spearmint. That sounds good. And then last but not least, this looks like a David's tea or a Davidson's tea. Maybe. No. This is Happy Lucky's loose leaf tea, chocolate tea to nourish you happy. You're happy. Wow. Okay, I'm trying to do this so you can see the chunkiness. This is a really chunky tea. So, yeah, with this light directly in front of me, it's hard. Chocolate tea. Organic cocoa shell, and it says organic cocoa shell chocolate tea. That's it. That's it. All right, so let's take a look. This is our teas for the month of November. The month of November is for taking life a little slower, cherishing the simple joys, like sharing a pot of tea with loved ones. We're brimming with gratitude for our community. And hope you enjoy settling into this season with a cup of tea specially chosen for you. Rate them, etc. So our first one is the Rooibos. Well, first of all of these are caffeine free. And the first one is the Rooibos Masala. Oh, it's Masala. Masala chai. That looked like an eye to me for some reason. Masala chai. This has Rooibos, Vietnamese cinnamon. Vietnamese cinnamon? Okay. Indian ginger. Dates. Oh, I like dates. Chicory, pepper, cloves, and natural spice flavor. Enjoy the earthly deep body of South Africa's Rooibos. It makes a perfect caffeine-free base for this spicy takeoff on India's renowned masala chai. Interesting. Interesting. We might get into this one first. Some of these all look interesting so far. This chocolate tea by Happy Lucky's, which has all of, 2 ingredients. 1 ingredient, organic cocoa shells. I'm not sure how that becomes a tea, but sure. Steeped from roasted cocoa bean shells, this chocolate tea containing natural tannins, catechins, polyphenols, antioxidants, and stimulating theobromine for a healthy sip. So that's our chocolate tea. the Cacadian Kula. There. Hibiscus, we talked about all that, right down to cinnamon chips. Kick back on your favorite hike or kayak trip while sipping this refreshing summer cooler, a beautiful blend of hibiscus and citrus notes with a kick of cinnamon on the top. It's November. Why are we getting a summer tea in November? I'm sure it's going to be just fine, but I wouldn't say it's a summer cooler if we're in the middle of November. But anyway, sounds interesting. And last but not least, from Sunday morning, we have the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop, Chamomile, Orange Peel, Lemongrass, Spearmint. Take easy Sunday morning. This blend of chamomile, orange peel, lemongrass, and spearmint is soothing, caffeine-free blend to put you at ease. So it looks like some really interesting teas. Like I said, they did get to us on a really good day to have new tea. And I think we're going to go ahead and try this one for this video today. So that's our tea for the month of November. I'm glad that the little thing didn't mean that anybody took my teas. And yeah, I'm excited. How about you? Or how about you being excited about this look? Talk about it right after my little... I gotta go make tea. So hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is actually an older one. You haven't seen it. My daughter got it for me before the move and I just never used it. It is more like a soup cup. It says Homebody on the front. And it actually came with a lid for you to put a straw in, I guess. But it came with this lid. And like I said, I just haven't gotten around to using it. But like I said, it says Homebody. Today's the perfect day to be a homebody. It's so chilly and cold and wet outside. And it's a little chilly on the inside. We try to keep our heater and cooler off as much as possible because money. But so that is our coffee mug. It looks new. We've never shown it before, but it's not really new. And inside of that, we have our Worldwide Botanicals, Rooibos Masala Chai, like I mentioned at the beginning of our little beginning clip at the beginning video. I can talk. We are already having issues. It's going to be fun reading. Anyway, so we're going to give this a sip. I will say there is no milk in here. We are out of milk for another 3 days. Of course. So that's always, I just always like a little splash. I don't even like a lot of milk, just like a little splash. I don't even have any whipping cream or anything to put in here. I don't even have any powdered milk to put in here. So we're just going to go with it and go ahead and give this a sip. But we're also going to qualify this with, we're not really giving this the best try for my tastes, right? All right. It's really hot. Smells amazing. I think I might like that. We're going to let that go ahead and do its thing, even without the milk. That's nice. As we said, this has stuff that's not on the package. All right, so today we're getting ready for a reading, and this will be the look that we'll be doing today. I remember when I opened the ice cream and I used a whole bunch of shades, and I said I wanted to use a particular shade. That would have been this one called Olives. I used it today. We also used some of the cranberry, which is becoming one of my favorite colors in the palette, and the sugar cookie as well. And then I also have two other palettes. I have the Nomad Hudson Valley, which I believe is still going to stay on the site after all the sales. But I also have the Tokyo, which is on clearance. They are getting rid of this one to make room for new stuff. So if you are interested in this one, now is the time to pick it up before it is gone, and it is on sale. So you want to pick it up. It's on clearance. So anyway, and once it's gone, it's gone. It's not coming back. this is our look. We're going to get into it in a little bit. But in the meantime, if you're interested in the look and the other items I've used, because I used Moira too. We'll talk about that at the end. Then just keep on watching. I'm going to go ahead and start with my Nomad Tokyo. This is currently on clearance. It's going bye-bye on the Nomad site. And we're going to start with this color, Melty Room. This really light color here. And that's going to go by our crease and upwards. Nomad has one of the fewest formulas that I can actually use in the pastels. And this is an older formula, so it's actually no surprise this thing is on clearance. Okay, so I was originally going to add a little bit of peach, but I don't think I need it. With everything else we're going to be doing under here, we're just going to stick with this beautiful light yellow. Now we're going to grab one of our sponge tips. And we're going to move on to this one. This is the Saints, Angels, Sinners, Ice Cream, the Friendsgiving palette. This was in the Ice Cream November box. And I did say when I opened it that I really wanted to play with this one. So that's what we're going to use. We are going to go ahead and get our little sponge. Slightly damp. A little bit on both sides. A little shake. All right, so I'm going to take it about 2/3. Yes, I have a plan. I'm going to take it about 2/3 across the eye. Oh, this is such a pretty color. So pretty. Okay, so we're starting in our corner. That's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. I'm going to tuck that in there. Going all the way across the lid. That is so pretty. Oh, that's beautiful. This palette so far has surprised me. I really wasn't sure about the color story. A lot of these, there's several, there's 2 pinky or brownie reds and a brown and a black. And some of the colors just didn't seem like they would really work. But this is going to work just fine. Okay, so we're about there. Yeah, just about there. I'm likely going to have to use the brush to clean that up a little bit. But for right now, that's where we're at. That is such a pretty color. All right, I'm still using the sponge tip. And I did mention I was going to play around with these. I'm going to put this over the very center and see what it does. This is the color Fairy Tale Love in the Moira Hologrammed Glitter Gels. I did mention that I was a little not happy with the opaqueness. They seem to be, the swatches had more color to them than these gels seem to be so far. But I did get 2 very light colored gels, and I am planning to pick up at least one of the darker gels when Moira has something else new that I want to try. But for now, we're going to try this gel over the top of this. Oh, that is not what I expected. Really not what I expected. I'm going in a little bit. This is giving it a purple, which is not the color of this gel. It's very strange. It's an interesting shift. So when I did remove this the other day, there was no flaking in my eyes. It stayed in place, and it has a kind of a purple shift in it. It stayed in place. It didn't flake into my eyes. It removed easily with a cleansing oil and soap and water, and so I do like them for that fact. I'm just hoping that when I pick up the darker one that we're going to end up with a bit more of a darker base to it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to use for this outer corner, so I was going to grab some of this sugar cookie, but that's more pink. So I think I'll go ahead and grab this cranberry. I did want something a little deeper on the outside. So we're grabbing some cranberry. Grabbing some cranberry. I didn't get this brush wet. We'll see how it does. It's coming up on the brush. Okay, so it is not going on the eye well. And that is dulling down a little bit. Okay. It's dulling the orange. I might put some more of this olives over the top of that because it seems to be dulling down a bit. But I'm going to get this damp. We aren't getting a whole lot. Should have got it damp to start with. Grab some more again. Get this on the lid. Come on. There she is. Mostly. Yeah, I'm going to try putting some of that. I'm going to grab that olives and put it over the top of that gel. I don't like the way that's looking. It's not really adding anything like I wanted it to. I mean, it's got that purple glitter in there, but it dulled the shine of the original eyeshadow, and that's kind of upsetting. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and grab the end of our sponge tip again. And grab some of this olives. And we're going to put that back over across the top. Return some of that shine. We still have that glitter in there. But I really wanted that shine back. It still looks a little lighter. And you still get that shift. But now it doesn't look dull underneath the glitter gel. So I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Okay, so we did our olives. I am now going to get into the Nomad Hudson Valley, and I had an idea of what I was going to do. I completely blanked out. I'm going to grab some of this Fall Festival. By the way, I think they're having their Thanksgiving Black Friday sale has already started. So like a lot of this stuff is on sale. This is a really nice palette. It has some, it's mostly neutrals, but it's actually neutrals I can use. There's only maybe 2 colors on here that would disappear in my skin, really. Well, yeah, just 2. Anyway, so we're using this color, and we're going to put that around the corner. That. Then we're going to just continue to buff her out a little bit. Get it smoothed out and blend it in and all the things. It is pretty close to the shine color. It's pretty close to the olives in terms of shade. It's just a little bit, well, one, it's a matte, and it's more muted in tone. I knew what I wanted to say. I take my time, right? Okay. And then I'm going to grab this color Wine Harvest and use that to do that deepening of the crease that I usually do. So we're going to go just in the crease and out. Well, that's not much darker than the cranberry. I don't mind though. I'm using the very tip of my brush. I'm tapping the tip of my brush in. I'm not doing a flat pickup. So I can make sure to keep it all kind of in the crease. And now, very quickly, let me find one. I'm going to take a big floofy buffing type brush. This is probably some kind of highlighter brush, but I use it, and I'm going to meld these top 3 colors, their edges a bit. Just buff them out, help them blend, soften the lines just a little bit, and there. I think I'm okay with that. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit more going on when we get the rest of our makeup on, which I'm going to go and do right now. We'll be back, and we'll talk about it, right? Mostly. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. We are done. Let's take a look at this look. I did have to start patching up on the inner corner on this eye, so there might still be some issues in there, in that, right in the crease. But other than that, it's held up pretty well, despite everything. Let us talk about the things. Well, first of all, let's talk about some things that I did. So I did eventually go ahead and take the sugar cookie and put it over that orange, and then I applied more of that orange. And they do blend. I just wanted it more on the red and darker orangey side, if that made sense. So that's what I did there. And then on the under corners, on the underside of my lid, on my lower lash line, I used this on the inner corner, this towards the middle, and then I went back and I used some of that sugar cookies along the outer edge. I tried to do a gold line with a couple of things, and it just didn't work out, so we're going to leave that alone. And then for the actual inner corners from the Tokyo palette, I took this one here and I added that. So we used 2 shades from the Tokyo. We used this, and then we used this to add some brightness on the inner corner. So let's start talking about some of the items I've used and how I feel about them. So let's talk about a couple of things. We're not going to talk about a whole lot. Y'all know I love the Nomad palettes. Both of these are slightly older formulas. This is the oldest formula in this amongst these two. This one is from last year. So they've actually adjusted the formula a little bit since this one, but it's a really nice, good, warm, fallish palette. I actually really enjoy this palette. Already really enjoying this particular palette, and I can't wait to play with it some more. I want to get into that green one of these days. So yeah, enjoying this palette. So I think the last palette that they did with a collaboration with Ice Cream did end up going on the Sass site. So just keep your eye out on the Sass site if you're interested in picking this one up. The Moira. I'm really disappointed. Like I said, I believe when I did my ice cream unboxing and we used some of this with those products, it is possible that it is the shades I bought that are at issue. However, when I applied this one over my central lid, I did get the glitter, but whatever this gel base is, it dulled out everything underneath it, and I ended up having to reapply that olives color to get the shine that I wanted in the middle. I was really hoping that by putting this over the middle, I would have the shine from the olives and the shine from this, and that really did not happen. I mean, the glitter is still there. It hasn't fallen off into my eyes or anything, but it's definitely disappointing. So I was considering purchasing a pink and a blue in this stuff, but at this point, I am so disappointed in the two that I have that I'm not sure I want to do that. Now, if I do buy them, it'll be when something else, Moira comes out with something else that I want to try. Yeah, I don't know. There is a blush of theirs that I want to try. It's an ombre blush. We'll play around with getting a pink or a blue at that time and see what happens. But at this point, I'm not particularly pleased with these. I'm glad they stay on the eye because the glitter doesn't seem to flake off and go everywhere, even after it's dried down. So I'm glad they stay put. But that's not useful if it's going to dull out. I mean, it worked really well over a matte, so I guess if you're dulling out a matte already has sort of that flat, dull texture anyway, coloration. So, but you can't use these to bring even more shine to a shimmer or something. So that's disappointing to me. At this point, unless you really, really want something like these, they wouldn't be on my list of things to buy, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's all the products I used, and we're pretty much done. And I've got to go and get some readings done. My husband should be home any minute now, so I want to get these readings done and then possibly get some dishes done. I don't really want to do that, but I probably should. At any rate, so that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen, and you will go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. Like the video, share the video to help us out over here. Make some comments down below. There were a couple things I think I could have done a little differently. I think I would have chosen a different lipstick. I just didn't have a lipstick in the color I wanted, and the one I chose ended up being more pink than the orange it looks. So it's a duochrome too, apparently, and the stuff that I did to try to bring out more oranginess just didn't quite work, but it's fine. We're fine. Everything is fine, and I'm sure some of you know where that's from. But yeah, just let me know what you think down below. And in the meantime, we'll take another sip of our tea, and then we will get on out of here. Get on out of here. It's only been about 10 minutes, but by now this should be at full strength, right? 10 minutes. It still smells amazing. I love it when a tea just smells fantastic. I love this. Okay, I like this. But I can tell you right now already, it is probably not one I would repurchase, because I can already tell that as this cools off, I take time to drink my tea. I don't just, it takes time. I'm reading, I'm doing other things, and I take a little bit of time. And I can already tell that as this cools off, it's probably going to end up bitter towards the end of being killed. Well, we'll find out when I do the readings, because I'm just going to go ahead and stick with this cup of tea for my readings as well as everything else. And yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I suspect that this tea is just not going to be, this is not going to go in one of my bags. That's all there is to it. Anyway, so I love my girls. I love my dragonettes. And I hope you have a good one.